Once upon a time, in a dark city, a man named Kris was on a quest to beat the speed of light. Here is his story.
Okay.
That's my son.
Thank you. And I'm off. What are you doing in my house?
My mom lives here.
Who's your mom?
Kris Tofer.
Oh, sorry to tell you, but she hasn't been here for years.
Years?
Like 20 years, man.
I've been gone for 2 years. Where's my mom?
She's in here.
And where?
Kinda gone, buddy. Really sorry.
What? Mom?
Yeah, she's been haunting me, so you better take that with you.
Okay.
Need a ride? It's cold out. Oh, crap.
Hi, welcome to KJK TV. Today we've got a very special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Kris Tofer.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Kris, I understand that over these last 20 years you've been flying about in space trying to beat the speed of light. Tell me more.
Unfortunately, I was unable to beat the speed of light. Now, I couldn't help but notice you said 20 years, right? Something I discovered over my journey is that time is not, in fact, not constant. What seemed to be 20 years on Earth was only 2 years for me.
Really? That is astonishing. But how could this be?
At first, I had no clue. I was just as surprised as you, if not more. When I came home to find strangers living in my house, with my mother's ashes in an urn. I noticed something odd about her urn. The dates read 1983 to 2033. I left in 2013, so this could not have been possible.
I'm sorry about your mother.
Thank you. Anyway, after weeks of confusion, I decided to try to make sense of the whole concept. I thought back to my journey, paying specific attention to the strange things I experienced. I came to the conclusion that motion is relative to perspective. I understood that I was traveling through space at a constant speed, yet it looked like everything in space was moving, not me. The only definite speed is the speed of light.
Which is approximately 300,000 kilometers per second, right?
Correct! At this point, I still could not figure out why 20 years had passed when I came back.
So how did you figure it out?
I actually asked a scientist my mom used to work with to see if he could help me come up with an explanation. Between the two of us, we discovered that if you move fast away from someone, they see that time is slowed.
How come nobody has noticed before on Earth?
Well, the difference in time would be so small, you wouldn't be able to notice it. Only when you're near the speed of light are these changes visible. I was traveling at 0.98 the speed of light.
Huh, okay. That makes more sense. Tell us, why were you unable to beat the speed of light?
Because it's impossible.
Tell us more.
Well, after numerous experiments and hours of research, we noticed that in order to reach the speed of light, you have to be massless. But what about to beat the speed of light, you would have to have a mass smaller than 0, which is physically impossible.
Wow, this will be going down in history. Ha ha. Now, I've been hearing this term space-time floating about. Is there anything you can say about that?
Yes, it's a model that combines space and time into a single continuum. Space exists in 3 dimensions, and time is the 4th dimension.
Interesting. Is this related to inertial reference frame?
Inertial reference frame is the frame of reference describing time and space. It is relative to what the object and observer are doing.
Okay, so before the show, I was talking to a security guard about, in the back, about why 2 observers moving relative to one another of the same event measure time differently. Is this because at rest time flows regularly?
Yes, this is time dilation. It is also because near the speed of light, the clock moves slower relative to the observer at rest.
So there's a decrease in light in length detected by an observer of events traveling at 0 velocity?
Yes, because moving at speeds near the speed of light shortens the distance to be traveled. Therefore, length contracts.
Wow, there's so much information to take in. It is understood that although you were the one on the ship alone, other scientists help you with the explanations, one of which is a man named Einstein. Chris, tell us about this intelligent man.
Intelligent he is. Without this man, we would not have the understanding of special relativity we have now. Einstein came up with a formula to replace how high speeds are added together. From deriving some of his formulas, he formed a special formula. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. This showed that energy can be transferred into mass, and mass can be transferred into energy.
Good old Einstein. So, to move an object, energy is required?
Yes, ma'am. At low speeds, almost all goes to making objects move, but some cause mass to increase. Near the speed of light, the opposite is true, which brings us back to the fact that to travel at the speed of light, we need no mass.
Is this just a thought, or is there real proof supporting it?
There are actually 3 examples proving mass increase to be true, one of which is a particle accelerator. A CRT is an example of a particle accelerator. Scientists noticed a momentum value higher than expected, so mass must have increased. The second supporting evidence is nuclear bombs, which are nuclear fission, the act of splitting into parts. The separated masses are more heavy, therefore mass increased, so energy increased. Energy is gained. The final proof is fusion, the act of fusing. The only example right now is the sun. 2 hydrogens fuse into helium. The fused masses are lighter, therefore mass decreases, so energy must decrease too. But where does it go?
Out?
It's the heat that makes its way to us.
Mistake me if I'm wrong, but your mother was trying to create fusion on Earth while you were away, right?
Yeah, she's always dreamt of the day that nuclear fusion would be in the hands of our species. She'd tell me about how it would fix our energy problem we currently face. I'm sure you've already heard. She's found out the secret to nuclear fusion. Unfortunately, it cost her her life.
I'm sure you're proud of her. We all are.
Thank you. Yeah, I definitely am.
So, we are all wondering, if you had the opportunity to go back in time to cancel your journey, would you?
At times, I wish I could, to see my mom again, but then I think about it and her love with physics. She'd be so proud of where I and we are today.
Oh, it looks like time is up. Thank you for joining us this afternoon on KJK TV. It's been a pleasure, and we wish you the best.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Okay.
Going it out? I was trying to grab my thing.